We're going to devote our energies to sports and gardening, all the cultural pursuits as far as they're concerned. In fact, we're going to put the goons to sleep. Meanwhile, we dig.
Greetings and welcome to the Anadromous. This is Byrne Power coming to you from a warm, beautiful day here in Tbilisi, Georgia. You might hear some construction work on these big monolithic apartments that have been going up for the past couple of years. Such is life. This is just going to be a short update to let you know a few things that have been happening and to answer a few questions about the ever elusive How We Got Here number 12. First of all, thank you so much. I'm using this announcement, this update, to officially say the GoFundMe crowdfunder is officially over. Now, it's still up. I don't know how to take it down. It's not me who's operating it, but it's there. And if a few more coins happen to fall into it, as happened this week, I would just say thank you, but I'm not asking anymore. After this, no more asking. I won't even say if a few more coins, nothing. I'm done. Let me give you the final total. Now, this is different than what you would see on the page, but essentially, with PayPal donations from you folks and other donations from you folks, my friends in Alaska, my friends from New York, friends from when I was a teenager in California as part of the Jesus People movement, friends whom I met through puppetry, friends I've never met who just simply took an interest in this for one reason or another. I ended up with a total of $11,550, which is great. And that is going to help me. And here's what I've learned. I'm going to use every last drop of that, plus whatever money I've saved, to get this done, because this is a crazy, crazy task. One of the craziest parts is actually, I have to, as I mentioned in my video, there are two parts to this. And the first part is buying a very inexpensive house, which means I have to put something like, I don't know, $5,000 to $7,000 down on a place. Now, I haven't gone looking. I have looked at what's available online, but I haven't wanted to seriously look until I actually had the money here in Tbilisi. So I've spent the last week doing that, which has been, frankly, insane. There's nothing about this that's ever normal. Fortunately, I'm always up for whatever, and my thought is, okay, let's do this. So I get in touch with my bank. I get in touch with my bank here in Georgia. They say, you need a special account for dollars. So I say, fine, give me the special account for dollars. Then I go to my bank in Alaska. They say they're a really, really fussy bank, which is good. Keeps them out of a lot of financial troubles like the 2008 issues. But they say, yeah, we don't like transferring that much money to someplace like Georgia. They would probably have problems transferring that to the United Kingdom, let alone Georgia. So then what they did is they said, we'll give you a special dispensation to pull out $1,000 a day for the next, they gave me about 10 days to do it. And so I go down to the bank, and I can take dollars out of the bank here. I go down, and I put $1,000 in. They have these different categories, so like 200, 300, 400, then 700, and then it skips down to 1,000. So I put in 1,000. Nope, can't do it. I'm sitting there going like, what is this? And then I realized they've also said I had to pay, every time I take out money, I have to pay $20 or $25, depending on how much I'm taking out. So I say, okay, well, let me take out the next amount, 700, plus 200, so that's 900. And so I have to do this every day. I get in touch with my bank in Alaska and I say, hey, can you make the amount instead of 1,000 even about 1,030? I do. Meanwhile, the dollar exchange rate has been going down. And so I come to the next day and put in 1,000, plus they take out their 20 or 25 or whatever they're going to take. And I still can't do it because, anyway, you get the idea. Insanity. I finally got as much money as I needed. And then I looked back at my account and said, I don't know, do I still have enough to get my container here if I take out all this? I've already taken this out. I can't put it back. I can't make deposits with cash back into my other account in Alaska here. I can only get deposits, electronically put in. So I go, oh, okay. And then I start doing homework. Okay, I'll get this much a month. There's a certain amount's going to come in through PayPal to you people. Thank you very much. I'm also going to get my Social Security money, which is not much. And I do my research. And I say, okay, we'll say by October 5th, blah, blah, blah. And I go like, okay, I can do it. I'm going to be going on the skin of my teeth here because it's like, oh yeah, there's airplane fees. And oh yeah, other things. So I'm just sitting there hoping it works out. It's just like, oh yeah, I won't have a car when I get there to Alaska. It's like I'm going to have to go back and forth on foot, which is no big deal. I'm perfectly geared up for that. But it's just like, well, where should I stay there? If I stay with one friend, they live way out, like 4 or 5 miles away. I don't want to walk on that all the time, or just rely on people for rides. I don't want to rent a vehicle in Alaska. That's the last thing I want to do, because in America, of course, it's like you need to, can you give us the name of your firstborn? Then you can take the car. Where here in Georgia, however, I can rent a vehicle for about $35 a day with nothing down. Just show them my passport. Go check out Georgian Crossroads and you see what I mean. Anyway, so it looks good. Now my next job is I have to go out and look for a house. Now that I've got the money, I had to wait. I couldn't look for a house till I get the money. Now that I've got it, now I can do this process, which is like, who knows what this is going to be like. I'm up for the adventure. And then I have to move from here, where I've got my stuff, to there. I won't have a bed. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to buy a bed. Will I have a refrigerator? I don't know. Maybe there'll be furniture. Maybe there won't. It all depends on the place. If it's good enough, I don't really care if there's furniture or not. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll sleep on whatever. I'll go buy, spend a few $100s and get something to sleep on for a while. I do have a bed in my storage unit back in Alaska. So, who knows? Meanwhile, then I have to eventually look up, once I figure out how much I'm actually spending on the house, then I can look up, and I'll do this before then. I've done it a few times, but then I'll seriously look up the cost of the container and to fill a 20-foot container and send it here. Plus there are other expenses. So that's all the stuff that's personally coming up. And as I get closer to my trip to Alaska, I will fill you in and take you folks with me on some level. I think that'll be very interesting. But it'll also mean there'll probably be a period there when the cultural content is going to go way down, but the personal content will stay relevant. But meanwhile, speaking of what you've all been waiting for, How We Got Here number 12 is coming up. I finally cracked a way to do it that makes sense. So I can make a piece and I go, okay, that's done. I make another piece and I go, that's done. Oh, it's looking to be long. Oh, it's looking to be long. That's all I can tell you. But I think it'll be done by the end of the week. Meanwhile, I've got 2 things for you before that. But before I tell you about those 2 things that are coming before that, let me give you a sneak preview, just a minute or so from How We Got Here number 12. And this is from the Trump saga.
Well, that's odd. It seems like it's going to rain.
Like there's a storm coming in.
Fine! And I can show you.
Well, you're never going to believe what Trump just tweeted.
You go over to China. China. You take China. China. I love them. China. I have to have my China.
So there you are. I don't know. What do you think? Are you ready for it? Well, let me tell you, I'm not. It's going to take me at least another week to. But when it comes, it'll probably be 3 to 4 hours long. It's going to be the epic, because this is the period from 2011 to 2019. Just so much has been happening, and to cover it with any sense of depth as opposed to just skimming it, I'm going to do both. I'm going to skim at the beginning and say this happened, and then I'm going to settle in on certain key points to try to say something of value. Well, what's coming up? We got an interview with Sam, goes by the name of Sam Adams. He wanted to talk to me about the Jesus movement. So actually, if you check tomorrow, Sunday, sometime tomorrow, you will see my interview with Sam about the Jesus movement. And then I will be doing one called The Hydra, also very, very soon. It'll come out sometime in the middle of the week. And the Hydra is the question of what is the name of the beast that is got so many different heads that seems to be just kind of going after and eating up all of the cultural institutions of the land. I mean, you know the parts, but what is the beast? And that is my question. So wait for that. Down the road, maybe in a week or two, there'll be one called Ritual, Guilt, and Addiction. I think you're going to find that interesting. And not what you think. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. Also, on my Georgian Crossroads channel, go over there and check out my new series of my recent journey into the Caucasus Mountains, where I investigate shrines up in the hills and abandoned villages and the Russian border. I see Russia, but I never get there. And there's a couple more coming down the pike very soon. And finally, on my Gravity from Above project, which is the documentary about European puppeteers. Well, of course, with all this moving and looking for a house and traveling to Alaska and getting the container and trying to put out content for you people, it's been getting a little on the neglected side. However, there is good news. I realized that I am sitting on all these really valuable interviews with people. And I said to myself, these ought to be made into a book. It ought to be at least a bilingual book. I have interviews with many Czech puppeteers, French puppeteers, Italian, German, and others. And I need to get this out into the world in book form as well, because there's far too much material for simply, I recorded 40 hours or more of material. You can't put that into a simple 2-hour documentary. So I'm going to make a book out of it. And I was talking with a friend of mine through a video conference about a month ago. And she happens to be the person who is the editor of the longest running puppetry magazine in the world, which is in the Czech Republic, and it's called Lotkarsh. And I said, who do you think I could talk to in the Czech Republic who might be interested in helping me get this done? And she said, me. And so I said, great. So that means that there will be a book of this. Also, I've decided I'm going to turn quite a few of my essays in the Anadromous Life site into a book that I'll just kind of print up myself and sell through Amazon. And you folks will be able to help support me by, do I get money from that, or does Amazon claim it all? I'll have to look it up. Whatever. Anyway, I feel like I've got so much stuff that I need to do. Like I say, there's a novel that's all finished, The Five Masters of Reality, which I'm sure is going to come as a shock to some people, especially when I wrote it, 20 years ago. But all these things are there and need to get out into the world, including the Gravity from Above documentary, which I guess is going to have to be 2022. But there are other projects as well, including things I am involved with here in Georgia. Is it too much? Maybe. We'll see. Rather just keep trying than, I've got a lot to do, a lot to try to finish. I'm not expecting to die anytime soon. However, I am at the point now, being 66, just had my birthday last week. And, hey, I realize, will I live to be 86? Have I got 20 years left? I don't know. The clock is ticking, so I have to get things done. That's all I know. And the way it is now, it's just far too much stuff undone. Like how we got here number 12 and 13, which is 2020. And that'll be the end for quite a while on that series. Well, this is Byrne coming to you from Tbilisi, Georgia, saying thank you so much for all of the help you have been, all of you, in different ways, to my life, really, and to this GoFundMe project of trying to bring my container here, which involves also getting a permanent place to live as opposed to this rather strange apartment I'm living in now. And, it's going to be an interesting time. Stick around. Let's see what happens. Keep swimming against the stream. This is Byrne in Tbilisi. I will see you again, or you will see me.
A people without history is not redeemed from time. For history is a pattern of timeless moments.
Oh, this is crazy.